It's 9:47 on a Tuesday night. Your phone lights up on the kitchen counter. It's someone you'd call a friend, but not a close one. They need something. Not urgently, just now. You're tired. You already handed today everything you had. And you type, "No problem. Happy to help." Then you set the phone down and feel something you don't have a clean word for. It isn't anger, it's quieter than that, and heavier. Here's the part worth noticing. Somewhere in that same house, there's a person you actually love who's been waiting 3 days for a real conversation with you, and they'll keep waiting because they're safe. So let me ask something uncomfortable. Who gets your fastest reply? Not who matters most to you, who actually gets answered fastest. For a lot of us, it's not the people we love, it's the people who are evaluating us. The coworker, the client, the acquaintance, whose opinion of you feels slightly unsettled. Those messages get answered in 4 minutes. Your spouse gets answered in 4 hours. Your mother gets a call you later that becomes a Sunday. Your closest friend gets the reply you meant to send in March. And when that becomes a pattern, it's probably not just a scheduling problem. Your attention is flowing toward the people who might judge you and away from the people who already love you. Because love forgives a slow response. Judgment doesn't. Now, if you'd asked me to name that behavior 10 years ago, I'd have called it kindness. Most people do. We use words like generous, dependable, there for everyone, but watch how it actually functions. Kindness gives because someone needs something. What we're describing gives because something feels at risk if you don't. That's a different engine entirely. Think about the physical sensation of saying no to someone. Not a stranger asking for money. Just an ordinary request from an ordinary person. There's a tightening, a small spike of dread. You start drafting the explanation before you've even decided. That reaction usually isn't about the task. For many people, that kind of tension isn't really about rearranging a Thursday. It's about the verdict. Because somewhere along the line, you started hearing no as a statement about your character instead of a statement about your calendar. And once that's true, every request becomes a small trial where you're the defendant. There's a second reason this pattern is so hard to break, and it's more practical than people expect. Availability is measurable. Love isn't. You can't prove you're a good friend. You can't produce evidence that you're a decent person. There's no number for it. But you can prove you replied in 4 minutes. You can prove you covered the shift. You can prove you were the one who showed up when nobody else did. So we reach for the thing we can measure, and we let it stand in for the thing we can't. That's why the exhaustion feels almost noble. You're not just tired, you're accumulating proof. Now, look at what this actually produces over time. Picture someone, let's call her Dana. She isn't a real person. She's a composite, assembled from a lot of conversations that sounded nearly identical. Dana is the reliable one at work. Everyone knows it. If something needs covering, they ask Dana, and Dana says yes, because that's who she is. Open her calendar on a Wednesday. Most of the week belongs to other people's priorities. The work she was actually hired to do starts around 6 in the evening, after everyone else has logged off. And for a long time, she wore that like a badge, until she noticed something in a planning meeting. Nobody asked what she thought. They asked when she was free. That's the shift, and it's so gradual that almost nobody catches it while it's happening. You start as a person with judgment, perspective, and something to contribute. You end up as a resource with a schedule. People don't consult a resource, they book it. And here's what makes it worse. That wasn't done to Dana. She trained them. Every instant, yes, taught the room what she was for. There's another cost underneath this one, and it's the one that damages relationships rather than careers. Resentment. Not loud resentment, the low, background kind. You start feeling a small flare of irritation at people for taking exactly what you offered them, which is a strange thing to sit with, honestly. They asked, you said yes, freely, and then you quietly sent them a bill they never agreed to. That's the tell. When you find yourself keeping score in a relationship where no one else knew a game was being played, you're not being generous. You're purchasing something: approval, safety, a reputation, and the price keeps going up. There's one more mechanism at work here, and it explains why this pattern never settles into something sustainable. The standard moves. The first time you answer a message at 11 at night, it registers. Someone thanks you twice. You feel it. By the second month, it's normal. By the sixth, it's simply the baseline, and the only night anyone notices is the night you don't answer. That's how a gift gets repriced into an expectation. And once it's the floor, you need to give more than last time to feel the same appreciation you felt at the start, which is why people caught in this rarely drift back toward balance. They escalate, then something gives out: their health, a relationship, the work itself, and everyone around them is genuinely surprised, because from the outside it always looked manageable. It looked manageable because you never let anyone see what it was costing. So where does Scripture actually land on this? Because a lot of us assume the Bible is squarely on the side of being endlessly available. It isn't. And the clearest example is the one people skip. In Mark chapter 1, Jesus has just spent an entire evening healing people. The whole town shows up at the door. It's the kind of night that would make anyone feel indispensable. Early the next morning, before sunrise, he goes off alone to a quiet place to pray, and his disciples come looking for him. This is verse 37, and they say, "Everyone is looking for you." Sit with that sentence for a second. Everyone, not one person with a complaint, a town full of real, legitimate need. And his answer, in verse 38, is essentially, "Let's go somewhere else, to the nearby villages, so I can preach there also. That's why I came." He left, with need still standing in the street behind him. That's not indifference. He healed constantly. But he was operating from a defined purpose, not from whoever happened to be shouting loudest at the door. And notice what he didn't say. He never claimed the need wasn't real. He simply wasn't willing to let the volume of demand redefine his assignment. There's an older example that's even more direct about this, and it comes with a warning attached. Exodus 18. Moses is judging disputes for the entire nation of Israel. He does it alone, from morning until evening, with the line of people never getting shorter. His father-in-law Jethro watches this for one day and tells him, plainly, that what he's doing is not good, that he'll wear himself out, and the people right along with him. Read that carefully, because Jethro's critique is precise. He never says the work is unimportant. He never tells Moses to care less. He says the structure is wrong. And his solution isn't for Moses to stop serving. It's to appoint capable people to handle the ordinary cases, so Moses handles only what genuinely requires him. The problem was never Moses's heart. It was that everything was rooted through one person who had said yes to all of it. Now, this is where a distinction shows up that changes how you sort your week. In Galatians chapter 6, Paul writes two things that look like a contradiction. In verse 2, he says to carry each other's burdens. Then in verse 5, he says each one should carry their own load. Paul uses two different Greek words in those verses, and commentators have often noted the distinction. The word translated as burdens in verse 2 can refer to a heavy weight, while the word translated as load in verse 5 can carry the sense of something a person bears themselves. We shouldn't build too much on a word study alone. But within the passage, the distinction gives us a useful picture. There are times when love helps carry what is overwhelming, without assuming responsibility for everything another person is capable of carrying. Some things people carry will break them alone. Show up for those, cancel things for those. And some things are just somebody's normal Tuesday, inconvenient, unpleasant, entirely survivable, and carrying it for them doesn't make you loving. It makes you a shortcut around their own growth. Most of us have never sorted our yeses into those two piles. We treat every ask as if it carries the same moral weight. So here's what to actually do with this. 4 things, and they're small on purpose. First, run the response time test. For 1 week, just notice who you answer fastest. Don't fix it yet, just see it. If your quickest replies consistently go to people who are assessing you rather than people who love you, that tells you what your availability is really buying. Second, break the reflex. The instant yes is where you lose. So install 1 sentence. Let me check and get back to you tonight. That's it. It's honest. It's socially normal. And it moves the decision from your nervous system to your judgment. Most of the time, you'll still say yes, but it'll be a decision instead of a flinch. Third, sort the ask. When the request comes, ask 1 question. Is this a weight that'll crush them, or is it their normal load and I'm just the convenient exit? Both can get a yes, but only one of them justifies moving something that already belonged to your family. Fourth, put the ones you owe on the calendar first, with actual names and actual times, not spend more time with the kids. Thursday, 7 p.m., no phone, this specific person. Because when love has no place on the calendar, scheduled obligations usually win. And here's the underlying shift. Stop trying to be reachable. Start being reliable. Those sound similar, and they're nearly opposites. Reachable means anyone can get a piece of you at any moment, which means no one gets much. Reliable means fewer people can reach you, but when you say you're there, you're actually there. One is wide and thin. The other is narrow and real. Come back to that Tuesday night for a second. You typed, "no problem," because in that moment, being seen as unavailable felt more expensive than being exhausted. But now you know what you were really paying for, not their need, your safety, and you know what it cost. The person 3 rooms away who's been waiting on a version of you that never quite arrives. So this week, say 1 honest no, just 1, to something small, where the stakes are low and the sky won't fall. Not to become harder. To find out that the verdict you've been bracing against never actually comes. Because the person people describe as always available is usually the person nobody really has. Leave the old, build on truth. If this helped you name something you've been carrying that was never yours, subscribe. That's what we do here. Look honestly at the patterns shaping who we're becoming and at the biblical wisdom that helps us build differently. You were never asked to be everywhere. You were asked to be faithful somewhere. Start there.